All right, so let's begin our new little experiment here with doing these worksheets. So it's order of operations. So you probably, and I think we've already talked about that in here, and most of the stuff that we're going to do on these worksheets, we've probably done, but I probably skimmed over them maybe kind of fast. But we're going to kind of settle into these basic algebra principles, okay? Because I want you to know, I want you to learn something in here, all right? That's the whole goal. All right, order of operations. Anybody remember the little letters? Yeah, people say PEMDAS, but yeah, that's what I say. I say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, okay? We all know what that means. I'm not going to write them down, but you can if you want. Let's say them, though. P stands for what? Parentheses, then exponents, division, addition, subtraction. Okay? See? There you go. You're liking it better already, aren't you? All right, so here's what the problems on the worksheet tell you to do. They tell you to evaluate. Yeah, but you're not really solving for X. All you're doing is basically just kind of simplifying what they give you. All right? So it could be really simple. I'll start off with the first one. Oops, there goes my pen. Why does that happen every day? Let's try this again. All right. This is basically number 1 on your worksheet, so you might want to write that down. But I do want you to show your work, if there's work to be shown, okay? If there's work to be shown, I want you to show your work. I don't want you just to write to see a bunch of answers when I read them off, okay? That's not the idea of me reading off the answers to you. It's just to start writing them all down and then just hand it in, all right? I'll take a lot of points off, all right? If I see that it's a continual thing, I'm not going to give you any points if you just write down the answers and turn it in. Even something simple like this, you can show your work. Now, you probably could do this in your head. I don't know. But show your work. Here's how we show our work. So what do we do first? Parentheses, right? Is there parentheses? Yeah. So we put the 3 here because that's being multiplied. That's 13. And now the only thing else to do is multiplication. And what is that? It's 39. Right? 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. It's 39. That's it. And that's the work that you need to show. Pretty simple. Okay? Well, that's not all of them. Let's do number 6. 9 minus 32 divided by 4. Tell you what, you try it. I'll give you a few seconds. This is division. It's kind of weird looking division. It's 9 minus 32 divided by 4. Go ahead and try it. I want you to show your work.
What parentheses?
There's no parentheses.
No, follow it, bro. See the pen down?
Now let me say something about this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally thing. If you see, now I'm not saying this happens here, but there will be situations. There will be situations where you have multiplication and division in the same problem, and there's times when you have addition and subtraction in the same problem. You don't necessarily do the multiplication always before the division, not necessarily. Okay, if you have multiplication and division in the same problem, what you would do, okay, is you would go from left to right. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
So if your division was first, you wouldn't do the multiplication first, you do the division first, okay? So you go from left to right with multiplication division. Same thing with addition and subtraction. If you have addition and subtraction, you always go left to right. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
But so really you should kind of group those together. You always do multiplication and division before you do any addition and subtraction. Unless, what? The subtraction and addition were in the parentheses, right? Then you always do that first. Okay? What'd you get?
I got 1.
Okay, so what'd you do first?
So 32 divided by 8.
That's it. Well, it's by 4.
Yeah.
So watch. This is what you do first, because you do division first before you do any addition or subtraction. So a lot of people would look like this and say, oh, 9 minus 32. And they would do that, then try to take that number and divide by 4. Okay? So what a lot of people would do. I don't know, you guys aren't on Facebook, but I assume these little meme things are on other social media things. You ever see, I don't know, I don't have Instagram or anything else. Do they have stuff on there where they say, solve this, and then people are given all these different answers and all that kind of thing. Usually, it's order of operations type of thing, and everybody says, "Oh no, it's this number," and then somebody will say no, and then somebody. I've done this once. I'm guilty of this. Kind of a nerdy thing to do, but in my comment, I show them all the steps, right? And, sorry, come on, I'm a math teacher. That's what I do, So. So you'll see this on there all the time, and it's usually order of operations, okay, when they do this. And so a lot of people would go 9 minus 32 first and then divide it by 4. And then somebody always puts on there, remember PEMDAS from high school, So anyway, so what do we do first? We do this first because we do division before we do any addition and subtraction, all right? So it's 9 minus, what's 32 divided by 4? That's 8. And now, obviously, there's only one more thing to do. You just subtract and you get a 1. Okay?
Yep.
All right, let me see if there's anything tougher than that.
This is quite tough.
Really, they're all pretty straightforward. Let's do this one. Write it down, then I'll give you a minute to work on it and see if you get the answer right. That's too easy. Well, they really don't get a whole lot harder than this. I know, I'm deciding if I want to finish it up or not. Yeah, let's just do it. I started it. Let's just do it. All right, there you go. I'll give you 1 minute. Ready, go. It should take you 15 seconds to do this. Guys aren't playing along?
I'm actually doing it. I just didn't get to just now.
Give everybody a minute to do this. I haven't even figured out what it is. That's 1, 5. Okay, what is it? Yes. See, I just did it in my head just like that. It's not because I'm smart, because I'm not very smart. I've told you that story before. So. You got 20 seconds. But I want you to show your work, okay? I don't want you to just do it in your head. I want you to show me every step that it takes to get to that answer. All right, time's up. So the answer is 9. If Carter's right, if I did it in my head right, it's 9. Okay, so watch. First thing we do, order of operations, what's the first letter? Parentheses. Do you see any parentheses? Let's do it first, okay? So 8 times what? 1, because 5 minus 4 is 1, and then minus 3. Now, if you have a division like this, like a fraction. Okay, so let's look at this. If you have a fraction, what I would do is you always simplify the top first and simplify the bottom next. Either one, it doesn't matter which one's first or second, but you simplify the top, simplify the bottom, then you go from there, okay? So when you have a fraction that looks like this, that's what I would do. Now the top's already simplified, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to put 45 over. Now what do we do here? On the bottom, do we go 1 minus 3?
No,
We go 8 times 1, right? Because it's multiplication. So 8 times 1 is 8, and then minus 3.
I thought it was 8 minus negative. That's what I messed up.
Okay. Let's continue. Again, there's nothing to do on the top. We just keep that the same. Now we can do the bottom pretty easy. 8 minus 3 is 5. Now we can divide. 45 divided by 5 is 9, and there you go. Nana, question? Pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm looking at the other problems. To tell you the truth, I don't see really anything harder than that one. So I think we're good. All right? We're starting off pretty easy. This is probably going to be one of the easier lessons that we do. Okay? So it's starting off super, super easy. It's the very first one. And so we're going to do the worksheet. It's going to be due on Monday. All right? And I'll give you, we got 15 minutes left, 20 minutes left. Now, listen. I kind of, I don't know if nervous is the word, but when I give you stuff to do in class, I have noticed that a few people start working on it and everybody else thinks it's the end of class. Let me inform you. When I give you these worksheets, if I give it to you early, this is not the end of class. Okay? It's time for you to work on the worksheet. It's not time to work on other stuff. It's not a study hall. Okay? It's not a time to talk and wait till the bell rings. This is a time for you specifically to work on this worksheet and do nothing else but working on this worksheet. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Okay? Because in the past, I have given you time, and I try not to. I really try not to, just because I know that you don't take the time seriously and you just waste the time. But if we're going to do short lessons like this, and I'm going to give you time to work in class, I expect you to work in class. All right. We're on the same page, right?
Yes.
All right. So let me pass the worksheet out, and it's due on Monday.